Don't let me stray. Please guide my way onto the path of my being. Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, I'm calling your name. Oh, Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk, of course, on your favorite channel, Huda TV, the premier, the pioneer English language Islamic channel, broadcasting all throughout the world. And you guys continue to support us on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You guys know all that stuff. It's really important to us. Of course, this is your channel, and that is how you communicate with us. As you know, Let's Talk is a youth program aimed at addressing pressing issues facing the Muslim youth today, wherever they may be found, here in the Middle East, in Africa, in Europe, North America, Australia, all around the world. So we try to bring you guys relevant topics to challenges and obstacles facing your life, and also present the solutions and solve to those problems. In this episode, I want to talk about web addiction, internet addiction. Indeed, although the internet is not a drug per se, we've spoken about marijuana, drugs, and alcohol on other episodes, but what about the web? This is certainly something that people are suffering from. There is definitely something called internet addiction. We see youth staying, more than 12 hours a day on the net without not regarding work or study, rather just for fun, playing video games and looking at indecent material. So we want to talk about internet addiction, you guys. It's a very interesting topic. So let's talk about it. Let me introduce my respected guests. Let's start from your right, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Ahmed. I'm an English instructor. I'm 27 years old. I believe I've been here with you, and it's an honor to be here with you, inshallah.
Hey, thank you, brother. I want to ask you a personal question now. How many hours a day do you spend on the internet?
Nowadays, actually, maybe an hour or two.
Okay, 1 hour or two. What about when you were in college?
It was like 3 or 4 months ago. It was like I used to spend like 5 or 6 hours a day.
Okay, up to 6 hours. Okay, hold on for a second. Before we go on to Abdullah, because Abdullah's laughing, he said it was a lot. He said, let's take a look at this report, and then we'll come right back, inshallah. You guys stay tuned to Let's Talk.
Perfect my eyes and I praise. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah. How perfect you are.
So what is internet addiction disorder? Well, at this point, it's not an official disorder yet. It's just a proposed disorder, and it's quite controversial. A lot of people don't think it should be officially recognized. Other people see so many people suffering and losing out on their life because of internet addiction that they really want to be recognized so those people can get treatment. Now, it's true, you can get addicted to the internet. You can get addicted to anything that's going to involve a rush of dopamine in your brain. So if you're going online to get social or sexual rewards, that's going to give you a kick of dopamine in your brain. Your brain's going to get hooked on that. It's going to want more of that dopamine. You're going to try doing the same behavior again to try and get that dopamine. It's not going to be the same kick. It's not going to be that same great rush of dopamine, so you're going to do more of that behavior trying to get that rush of dopamine, and that leads to an addiction. Personally, I don't think we should recognize internet addiction disorder. Now, you might be saying, Mark, you just came out with a book on internet addiction. Why don't you think internet addiction disorder should be recognized as an official disorder? That's a great question. There are a couple reasons. First of all, the definition for internet addiction disorder, so to qualify as having internet addiction disorder, will probably have a quantitative measure. So that means there's going to be a set number of hours you have to use the internet in order to qualify as an internet addict. Okay, so one proposed study suggested 6 hours of internet use, of unnecessary internet use, per day for 3 months. Okay, you start to see why there are problems with that. That's like putting a quantitative measure on heart disease, but focusing on cheeseburgers. So it's like saying, how many cheeseburgers does it take before you have a heart attack? Obviously, a quantitative measure is only going to favor those who get really, really, really sick, not just the fact that it's detracting from your life. For example, someone who's extremely busy, but they're still losing every second of free time they have to the internet. So maybe they're only using the internet 5 hours per day. right? They don't qualify as having internet addiction disorder, but it still could be really damaging their life. And so that's one reason I don't like it. And yeah, the second reason, it's kind of similar to the first. It perpetuates our emphasis on waiting for illness. Right? Currently, unfortunately, when it comes to mental health, we're not proactive about stopping illnesses. We're not preventative. We're not proactive about building great mental health. We just wait until someone gets really, really sick, and then we say, hey, maybe you should get therapy, or now you qualify for therapy. Right? That's not a very good way to approach health. Right? In general, we want to be proactive. We want to be preventative about health. So it's not that I don't think internet addiction doesn't exist. It took days out of my life. It's very real, and it's a big problem, and it's only the amount of value being lost to internet addiction is only going to increase, especially for organizations. But I don't think the definition of internet addiction disorder is going to help us get healthier. Right? If we're going to, especially because it's quantitative, if we're going to measure anything, it should be inside the brain, not outside of the brain. Just as when we want to look at whether or not someone's at risk from having a heart attack, we look at measuring cholesterol levels, something in the arteries. We don't ask them to fill out a questionnaire about how many cheeseburgers they've eaten that day. So how can you be preventative and proactive when it comes to your mental health and the internet? Well, I'd suggest thinking of your internet use as you would healthy eating. Okay, so now take a look at this. Oh, that is just amazing. That is like the most delicious.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Net Addiction, Internet Addiction, Web Addiction. I hope you took a look at that report. This is one of my favorite topics, really, you guys to address. I want to go to you, Brother Abdullah. I want to mention to you, check out this tie. I'm really excited about it. Actually, this tie right here,
I
what
love
it
it,
does,
seriously.
yeah, you know what it does? It actually goes up and down. It's actually, if you guys can see, that's actually a zipper. You guys, you got to take care of the mic there. But you guys didn't think I could tie the tie this nice, did you? It's actually a zipper. Abdullah, listen. Brother Ahmed said, I spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day on the internet when you were in college, you said, right?
It's after college, actually. After I graduated, I used to spend a lot of these, actually, keeping up with everything new, and
Right.
that took me a
lot of time.
Consumed a lot of time.
No, I hear you. Brother Abdullah, you said that's a lot. It's going to be a lot. What number? How many hours a day do you spend online as an undergraduate and before that as well?
I'm still a student. Like, technically speaking, I'm still a student. Like,
Okay.
I still have one more exam after 2 weeks. But the point is, not just after college, during lectures, people use Facebook and Twitter and kind of messages and all these things during they're taking lectures. You understand me? This is the great it's a problem from them.
Yeah, right.
Nowadays, it could be 1 or 2 hours because we're working and stuff like this. But before, we were spending lots of money. Most of our time, if we have a free time, it's for internet. Free time for internet.
I still do
told you
that.
something funny happened to me yesterday. I spent all the day yesterday on the internet, responding to messages, checking some stuff, checking emails, and all these things. And the light,
The power cut.
yeah, the power cut thing. Yeah, for 3 times or 4 times last time. I was with a friend. I spent one of the most productive hours of my life yesterday. For just 1 hour or something, we were kind of producing, having a startup. We were doing the slogan, the designs and all these things. Because of what? No internet.
Right.
Once the internet came, back from productivity, and now this kind of waste our time. We we linked ourselves with those websites and happiness and worries, and it became our news resources there. You check on your friends and all these things. No, we have phones now.
Right.
And all these things.
Yeah, great point. What about you, brother? Internet in your life. How often do you use it? Is it more or less than before now as a graduate student as opposed to an undergrad and high school student?
Aside from work and study, I use it for fun.
Yeah.
Less than an hour.
Okay, what about work and study?
Work and study, I'm connected 24/7.
Oh, okay. And I mean, because it's the nature of your work.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So during that time, you don't really find time for the fun aspects, just here and there when you have a moment.
Yes. It's actually sometimes when I'm checking it, I'm no time for this now. It's kind of, usually I sign in to just see the messages from people, and that's it.
Yeah, right. You use it as a form of a communication medium, not as all the time to check your news feed or tweet.
No.
Yeah, I got your point. What about you, brother? How many hours a day do you use the internet?
Well, actually, in the past, I used to be a net evader. To evade from the internet. Yeah, I could.
Why? What do you mean by that?
No, in the past, but now I want to have free time and I'm not with my friends and I don't find anything to do, so I use the internet. But you can say about 4 or 6 hours a day, from 4 to 6 hours a day.
Okay, okay. Now, why were you a net evader? Why?
Well, actually, in the past, I didn't use it for many things. When I was a student at university, only when I have something to do with my study,
Right.
I use it. But other than this, I didn't use to communicate with people, to chat with friends. I didn't have friends on Facebook or such social connection websites. But now I have lots of friends. And after I have the job and I get acquainted with lots of people. So now I have lots of friends, and it's pretty difficult to communicate with them because they are out of Egypt. They are in different places.
Certainly, yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I use it for communicate. Yeah, for communication.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, all right, you guys all gave me different numbers. Now, myself, anywhere from an hour to maybe 4 hours. I don't know. I can't really gauge it. Too much, though. That's for sure. It's too much. Okay, what are the warning signs? Maybe if I use the net for 1 hour, I'm addicted. Yeah, and for someone else, it's 6 hours of the net, and he wouldn't be addicted. So what are the warning? Everybody's different. So what are the warning signs of being addicted to the net? Go ahead, brother. You first.
Actually, when you are addicted to the internet, you don't feel the time. The time is passing, and you don't make good use of it. Actually, it's
wasted.
like, yeah, you don't feel it actually. And actually, that happened after the Facebook, when the Facebook appeared, and Twitter and all these. You felt like you are trapped.
Yeah, right. I got to log into everything.
Yeah, it's a lot. You go from here to there, and from there to another place. So it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time actually.
Yeah, brother. What do you guys think? It's different for everybody. Maybe you spend 10 hours, you're not addicted, and I spend half an hour addicted.
I think the symptoms of being addicted is to feel like you cannot leave it. Like your mom calls you for dinner, and you're still like, oh, okay, I'll eat later. Your friends pass by, I'm like, oh, I'm busy now, I'll catch you later.
Yeah.
This means you are addicted because you feel the pleasure, even if you are doing nothing productive, and you cannot avoid or escape it, and you are having it on the top of the list of priorities to you.
You know what? What about dietary things? Like you said, you're not eating right anymore.
Yes.
Low grades,
Yes.
right? No friends, isolation, depression, spending no achievements in life. You don't have a job. You're not going to school. All these because you're spending 10, 12 hours a day online.
Actually, I have a different opinion, totally different opinion. Like a time spent enjoying it, like, it's not like kind of a time wasted. I'll do something. You can edit it. The problem is not the problem. The problem is the way we deal with the problem itself. So, okay, I must be like 24/7 on Facebook or Twitter or all these things. I can kind of adjust the environment inside the Facebook itself. People don't know this.
Good point.
You can just adjust like kind of some pages for readings, for like kind of improving yourself and kind of reading about like something that will add to you, something wasting your time. All this you can hide it. You understand me? So you can adjust it. No, you must be connected because like this is the main communication system now. People like tell you, I sent you a message on Facebook. Dude, you call me, you have my phone number. No, Facebook number became number one,
It's like me.
Yeah, but when you adjust it, so you're not addicted. When you adjust it,
You
you're
use
not
it
addicted.
So now, like I told you, like the problem is not the problem itself. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these things. The problem is the way we deal with the problem. Use Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn and like kind of adjust them to make them kind of beneficial to you.
Yeah.
I make this. I began to make this. You understand
Yeah,
me?
but it's easy for you, but lots of people find it difficult to adjust it.
That's why we're speaking about this now. Start from now. Adjust
it's
yours.
the
like
very
Facebook.
problem that you're addicted to the internet.
Right. So, for example, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all this stuff, it can be used in a negative or positive way, right? What are the negatives? What are the positives?
Negatives, like you're just like wasting time reading. Okay, enjoying time on the Facebook is great. Like reading kind of some of the funny things, funny posting, friends and stuff. It's a really great thing. But at the same time, positives. Well, what can it add to me? Like when I read like those articles, like kind of now I'll tell you something. The social media now is so important for us. I'm not kidding. Social for like all the news, the kind of agencies, all the kind of
Lots of issues, political issues, and lots of
like, you have to be like connected. You have to be like kind of connected there. So like you can take them as a good one. Make kind of adjusted what do you call it? Pages, feeds, things. NGO, network, friends, and all these things, and make them like kind of fast. Don't waste your time. Anything waste your time, hide it, unlike it. All these things, report it even. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
You have the way. It's also about like if there is a will, there's always a way.
What about jobs? How many of you guys have found a job on Facebook or Twitter or social media? Have anybody of you guys or made a good connection on LinkedIn or something?
Yes, actually, I had a lot of jobs on Facebook.
Really?
Yes, actually.
But
and
there is a
on
difference
Yahoo,
between it's advertised or you were already hired by one of these.
yes, I already hired.
You were
Yes,
already.
yes.
There's something now in the HR system, the human resources thing. Like, they go to Facebook, you understand, and they find like, how Malik is like a volunteer here. He's doing this.
Right.
He's active here. All these things. Let's contact him. And you have his Facebook, you understand. You can like send
like a
messages, all these
CV,
things.
right.
So like, you can use it in a good way at the same time.
And
Keep
actually,
yourself.
I provided a lot of jobs for some of my friends using the Facebook. Actually, it is not. Actually, I believe even if you are taking advantage of, you're not wasting time on the internet. You are benefiting your time. But actually, it consumes a lot of time, more than necessary.
Yeah. Right.
This is the idea. Actually, we're doing a lot of we're doing our work. We're connecting with the other. We are following up the news, but actually it takes a lot of time, more than necessary. This is the problem. You're doing something good, but still wasting time.
What about if we did something like a structural? You put yourself in a structure. You should, for example, I use the internet for my work and study. Okay, for so many hours a day. But for recreational use, I mean, do you guys say, look, I'm only going to be online for 45 minutes?
I have done this actually. I decided to be on Facebook to check like once daily to check messages and to check the news feed and the notifications only one over the weekend.
Yeah.
And it worked very well.
Okay, really? I mean, why? Why do you say that?
Because it used to take me like sometimes I have readings to do,
Right.
and the readings take approximately like 2 or 3 hours, and I'm like, I don't want to read for 2 or 3 hours, and then I end up being on Facebook or other social media websites
For 2 or 3 hours?
for 4 hours.
Yeah. Thank
so
you. That's a great
I
point.
decided like, stop it, got it, you have the decision.
Yeah.
Just click the X button and you're done.
Yeah.
The page is closed now.
Wonderful point. Now, brother, I want to ask you a question. What do you think it is? What do you think the first thing people do is after they wake up?
Actually, there was a survey on this, and like I can't remember the accurate number, but I think it was over 80 or 90% of them. They said that they check their phones.
Meaning what? Their phones. What do you mean?
Their phones, the notifications they get from their emails, messages, Facebook.
Like these
other
fancy
stuff.
phones, like Abdullah had before the show. This fancy one,
I
right?
have fancy one, but I broke it. Like, you know. Yeah.
And these fancy iPhones that you guys have. I have a Nokia. You guys have smartphones. I have a Nokia
It depends
still.
on the phone. If it's a smartphone, so of course it's the internet. But if not a smartphone, maybe the phone numbers, missed calls.
right.
Yeah,
But okay, what about checking your messages or Facebook on a certain schedule? My friend Omar here, he told me something interesting, which I will tell you guys after the break. You guys stay tuned for more Let's Talk.
How perfect you are, Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Blessed month has dawned upon us with its merits and blessings combined. In it the Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon his soul. Without iman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, in this blessed month of Ramadan, we need to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, what we're trying to get out of this blessed month, and what we're going to do after this blessed month of Ramadan. Please join me live every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 2 o'clock GMT on the program Ramadan Spirit. We're going to have with us Sheikh Haytham Al-Haddad, Dr. Saeed Al-Qadi, Imam Wasim Kensam, and Sheikh Alamgir Ali live in London. And we're going to speak about these important topics. Please do join me then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Blessed month has dawned upon us with its merits and blessings combined. In it the Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon his soul. Without iman being uplifted from reading the Holy Quran.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. I hope you enjoyed that report. You guys were talking about internet addiction, web addiction, all that stuff. Well, we have another report coming right up. You guys, I want you to take a look at it and stay tuned to Let's Talk.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise. Oh,
couple of types of adaptations take place in your brain. One is a strengthening of the synaptical connections between the neurons involved in using that instrument, using that tool. And basically, these are neurochemical changes. So, cells in our brain communicate by transmitting electrical signals between them, and those electrical signals are actually activated by the exchange of chemicals, neurotransmitters in our synapses. And so when you begin to use a tool, for instance, you have much stronger electrochemical signals being processed through those synaptical connections. And then the second and even more interesting adaptation is in actual physical changes, anatomical changes. Your neurons, you may grow new neurons that are then recruited into these circuits, or your existing neurons may grow new synaptical terminals. And again, that also serves to strengthen the activity in those particular pathways that are being used, new pathways. On the other hand, the brain likes to be efficient, and so even as it's strengthening the pathways that you're exercising, it's weakening the connections in similar ways between the cells that supported old ways of thinking or working or behaving or whatever that you're not exercising so much. So the adaptation, I mean, there are a whole lot of reasons to be very happy that our brains are able to adapt and adapt so readily, because we do strengthen and become more efficient at things we do a lot of and at changed ways of thinking that we might need. On the other hand, there is a cost. We begin to lose the facilities that we don't exercise. So adaptation has both a very, very positive side, but also a potentially negative side, because ultimately our brain is qualitatively neutral. It doesn't care what it's strengthening or what it's weakening. It just responds to the way we're exercising our mind. The internet, like all intellectual technologies, has a trade-off. As we train our brains to use it, as we adapt to the environment of the internet, which is an environment of kind of constant immersion in information, constant distractions, interruptions, juggling lots of messages, lots of bits of information. As we adapt to that information environment, so to speak, we gain certain skills, but we lose other ones. And if you look at the scientific evidence, it's pretty clear, particularly from studies of like video games, that use of online media enhances some of our visual cognitive abilities. So our ability to spot patterns in arrays of visual information, to keep track of lots of things going on at once on a screen. But along with that, what we lose is the ability to pay deep attention to one thing for a sustained period of time, to filter out distractions. And that, the ability to pay attention, not only underpins kind of ways of thinking that are pretty obvious, contemplativeness, reflection, introspection, all those kind of solitary ways of thinking.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Let's Talk. Those reports, I hope you benefited from them, especially the reports of the youth in the Chinese camps for web addicts. From you guys, from what I understood, was the Chinese government has made youth camps, boot camps, up to 3 months, where parents who think their child are addicted to web use, they put them in this camp for 3 months. And in this camp, it's like a military camp. They exercise and this sort of thing. It's very interesting. I just want to mention to you, you mentioned, brother, that 90% of people now, they check their phone first thing in the morning. Well, I want to let everybody know I have this old Nokia phone. I don't even have a smartphone. So I'm not one of those 90%. Now, I'm just joking, though. But I want to tell you, brother, interesting point you said. You said, I check my Facebook messages so often or whatever. You set a schedule for yourself. I check my emails constantly. I probably check it 10 times before I even receive an email. I mean, that's not good, right? We should set a program for ourselves. Even maybe put one of those automatic replies that says, I'm going to be out of the office till 5 p.m. What do you think about that?
Actually, this is something good. Actually, one of my friends told me once he had this problem. He was like Facebook addict or like internet addict. But he said that I'm going to set a certain time, and if I exceeded this time, I'm gonna pay a fine. Or, for example, I'm gonna make sadaqah for example, each extra minute, I'm gonna pay £1. Do you know?
Right.
Yes, for it.
Hope it's not British pounds.
Yes, actually, yeah, I hope. So when she did so, actually, but she was determined, and she applied it. She found that she spent like half of its salary, of her salary, the first
wow.
Yeah, the first month. So she decided no. Actually, and in time she got control over this. So you have to set a time, for example, to do such a thing. Actually, or you can do it in a time that you don't usually use. Okay, for example, on the way in transportation, or before you before you go to bed, like half an hour, or like an hour before you go to bed. Yes, it's something modified.
Right. On the job, your boss isn't looking. No, I'm just joking.
The problem is some people find difficulty adjusting from like this addiction to just like they call it abstinence, or they like
cold turkey quitting just like that.
Yes,
it's too difficult.
The point is you don't have to quit like 6 hours to half an hour.
Right.
You can start like 6 hours to be 5, to be 4, to be 3. It will happen. But don't even think of cutting it like all at once, because you'll be lost.
And then you'll say, oh, I couldn't do it, I gave up, I can't quit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good point. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, like right before the exams, like, you know, people are like, oh, you know what, like, I'll use Facebook all the week, but like after a week or something, like, you know, I will stop because like I have exams and stuff, I have to study all these things. They go and they stop for like 2 minutes, and then they go back and the same during the exams. Why? They cannot.
Right.
They cannot.
You can't
oh guys,
turkey.
I'm sorry, like I will not be available like next week because I have exams, and they are available, and they are available more than like any time before. Why? Because like they don't have this gradual like kind of steps they do. Yeah. I always have this kind of, you know, opposite opinion. I have a totally different opinion. You can make your like technology your friend. You don't have to check like your email like 10 times. You can make like kind of the notification thing. You can like link it with your phone. Once you have an email, it like kind of notifies like your phone. That's it. Like you kind of peace of mind, relax. If you have any notifications, it's like it will come to you. You don't have to go on and check them. But we were speaking about like you go on and check like just like refresh, maybe for like 2 or 3 hours. Just like reading nothing. As I told you, unlike all those pages, you don't like kind of make use of them, like not beneficial. Hide all the feedbacks from a friend who's like not giving you, adding you anything, or not kind of not doing anything good for you. You know, it's a positive for you. Unfortunately, people like these days, like they express themselves like in the social media, like in a very kind of excessive way. For example, feel happy, feel hungry, feel this, feel this, feel this. Say it. Like they use, like the excessive use of like those social medias, like kind of affects your personal life, your facial expression. You find like people like they are in the same room for like students before like they're taking their class or something like this for like 15 minutes or 10 minutes. They used to speak. Hey, what happened? Like, did you do your homework? All these things. Now they just check the Facebook and Twitter. All these things. They don't even like know that, never recognize like their colleagues. Yeah. Like what?
But maybe I disagree with my brother Abdullah in this sense, because actually when you are taking it like your friend, okay, so you have to substitute. You substitute it with real friends. Actually, you actually communicate with these real friends on the internet, online only. Well, actually, yes, it keeps you away. It keeps you away from the society.
Yes.
So, and this is a disadvantage. I don't like this actually.
Listen, we're going to go to the brother Mahmoud about that. But before I do, I just want to mention, I wish we could get a camera shot, because we have 1, 2 of our 3 cameramen right now. They're on the internet. They're playing on the phone. They're not paying attention to our program. I'm just joking, you guys. We want to talk about virtual socialization.
Yes.
You mentioned that.
You know, Malik, in Australia, they coined the term phubbing, Phubbing. Phubbing. Phubbing is it refers to like seeking virtual socialization while you are in a real social situation or environment. So it happened to me, like we were gathering, it's like 13 of us, and it was amazing and surprising that you find at least 10 of them on their phones.
But back at your college?
Yes. And I told them, like, stop phubbing. And they said, what? I said, phubbing. Phubbing is seeking virtual friends while you have your real friends around you.
Yeah. People even like kind of look for their like future spouse from Facebook, you know, or like Twitter. No, go volunteer, go like spend time with friends, go like see people, like get to know them in the real life, not just like their Facebook or like cover photos or all these things. No.
So get out of your phone or your computer.
Yeah, and as for friends, the problem is that you're like this. You have the internet 24/7, for example, and you all of your friends, they are with you, so you don't have to be with them flesh and blood. So all of your friends are like you. So you are online, and you have your friend right there is online. So you don't have to meet him.
Right.
Yeah,
I got you.
I'll tell you
That's negative and positive.
one more last thing. My phone, I have like kind of this connected like kind of package on my phone, my smartphone, always like check it like when I have transportation. I found that like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like kind of using this phone without the internet, like listening to audiobooks, like improving myself, like reading some of that stuff. Now I was like check my Facebook and Twitter. Now I didn't like kind of renew my bundle thing for like the internet for I didn't renew it. Now I use the time now spent like transportation, speaking with my friends, kind of contemplating, relaxing, planning for something, organizing my day, not just like kind of checking it. You understand? At home when I go home. But now no, I don't use my Facebook.
And go ahead.
You know, Abdullah, I use when I go to the library to study. I was distracted by my phone, it's each 5 minutes I check it, but later on I developed a skill which is switching off the Wi-Fi or the cellular data, and once I know it's off, I know I'm not missing anything. So it's just I switch it off, put it aside, and it was very good because
like a psychological thing.
The shortest concentration time was at least like an hour and a half.
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful point.
Like these days, like companies, especially multinational companies, they block Facebook and Twitter, all the social media like kind of websites from their network. Why? Because like workers, employees, they leave like their job and like go like Facebook and like Twitter all the time. And, like, they leave their duties and tasks. So like plug them and you found like more productivity.
Yeah, certainly.
And use it.
I've seen Starbucks. If you go to a coffee shop in America and you see here in the Middle East, you go to a Starbucks, you'll see some people sitting at the same table. Perhaps they're a married couple or friends or something.
Connecting with the chat.
And they're both fobbing,
face to face, and they are connecting by the phone.
They're chatting in the same room. Like I found like my friends, I'm sitting here watching something and my friend here is connected and he is connected. They're sending messages and committing with each other like Facebook posts. Tell him, look at him, like smile and go and like speak with him.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, okay, look, the Facebook, the Twitter, all that stuff, it definitely has positives and negatives. And Brother Abdullah shared a lot of the positives with us. So, thank you, brother. And all you guys showed good points. But the online gaming, I don't see anything positive. With the Facebook and the Twitter and stuff, okay, this can be positive or negative. But the online gaming, you know what I'm talking about?
Tell me more about
it. Like World of Warcraft, StarCraft, these multiplayer games. Oh, gosh.
The cheesy thing, the stars, the Candy Crush thing.
Candy Crush.
I never
people
played
earn
it
money from
in my
this.
life. What?
People earn money from these games.
They earn from you.
Yeah,
they earn money from you. They don't take anything. Like you take your money you have. Hey, I'll do something. You are as a human being. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you time. You have like a time machine, and the same like you're just like a spirit.
Exactly.
You'll be accounted for this.
Yeah.
Like you have time. You're selling yourself. You're wasting the most important thing you have, the most precious thing you have in your life, which is like time. Yes. And they're taking money from you. By like you spend time on their games. I never played those kind of games. Never. And if somebody invites me,
actually I do.
I didn't do it before, and I don't know how they do it actually.
I used to play but now I don't.
Okay, and I want to make a public service announcement before I go back to Mahmoud. I want to let everybody know at home, please stop sending me requests to play Farmville. I don't want to play it.
Actually, I used to play.
I'll block you.
I used to play Candy Crush for hours.
Happy Farm.
Happy Farm.
And my decision was to substitute it with something which was reading. I had
that's a hard change.
I had PDF books on my phone, and believe it or not, since I stopped it, I finished 16 books.
Oh wow, good for you, brother. I really like
what kind of books?
It's like novels, like 50 ways to lower your blood cholesterol.
Nice.
Like very beneficial things.
I really like.
So he's addicted to reading now.
So you identified something that you felt was undesirable, like you were wasting time. You felt, and then you made a change. I think that's really good. I think a lot of us don't do that. By the way, really quickly, sometimes you have to put these things in perspective. You know Farmville?
Yeah.
Well, someone was playing Farmville in front of my mother-in-law, who's from Egypt, and she said, "So what are you doing?" She says, I'm planting corn and potatoes, and then I sell them. And she said,
Really?
You're pretending to be a farmer on your phone? And she was very shocked by this, and I thought this was so funny. I said, yes, she's, to put it in perspective for you.
Yeah.
You're pretending to be a farmer on a computer?
They will kind of woke themselves up, during the midnight, kind of who's going to feed the cow? Who's going to kind of make them drink? Oh, please.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's my will after, before I die. Please take care of my cows.
And we're going to take a short break, you guys. I want to continue with the online gaming when we get back. You guys stay tuned for more Let's Talk. We'll be right back after the short break.
Perfect my alliance and I praise. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi. How perfect you are. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. As we've been doing in this episode, we've been looking at a report after we return from the break. But before we do that, I want to ask Brother Mahmoud, is there a way to block those annoying invitations to play Farmville as well as other games?
Actually, whenever you receive any of these notifications, just there is an option to show in Game Center. Once it opens in Game Center, you can, it's very, very small down there. It's called block this game or block this app.
Without doing this, kind of when you check your notification, on the far right, up, you found something like X.
Yeah.
Block it, block app, that's it.
Okay,
you don't have to go inside an old plate for 2 or 3 hours and then block it at the end.
One moment, you guys. Sorry to interrupt you guys. We're having a good conversation here. You guys, we're going to take a look at this report. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Perfect my alliance and I praise. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi. How perfect you are. Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Internet, one of the most important inventions in this century. He is one of the youths that addicted to internet. He spent every second in front of his computer. He ate here, he drank here, he slept here. Hey, don't you need to finish your essay trailer today?
Yeah, but later, just a moment.
How about now?
One more moment.
It's already 13 minutes before midnight.
Oh, really? What did I do today?
You're probably addicted to the internet.
What? Addicted? No, I'm not.
Look here. You need to do something.
Like what?
First, physical method. You need to get rid of the computer. mobile phone, or any device that can help you to get onto the internet. As you lost connection with the internet, you can return to the reality world and get back to normal life. It's not easy. You may have withdrawal symptoms. You may feel anxious, worry, etc. while you are away from the internet. You should find something else that can replace the internet, such as sports, books, or any activities that you can enjoy in. You will get used to life without internet afterwards. Secondly, mental method. You need to understand why you are addicted to the internet, so you can choose a correct remedy. Some people are addicted to the internet because of the fantastic world it brought to us, such as dramatic stories from the internet, games, or jokes and funny pictures from other people. Some people are addicted to the internet because of the feeling of success. This kind of feeling usually happens in the online games. As the player can have different achievements in the games, they will be happy and chase for more, where they cannot get them in the reality world. Some people use the internet as an escape tool, to escape from the reality which is full of pressures and fails. People need to know that the internet are unrealistic and just brought short-term happiness. You need to solve the core of the problem, face the reality, and enjoy it. The above methods require self-control, which might not be useful to people that are addicted heavily. In this case, you need to seek help from the others, such as family members, friends, or even doctors. They are important. Besides that, they can give you mental support. They can also help you to finish the above method. They can physically separate you from the computer by creating activities. They can also help you to realize that how long you have spent on the internet by reminding. Some people may ask or argue that people nowadays cannot really get rid of the computer. There are many work require the internet, such as academic work, email, or etc. True, but this kind of work are not the cause of addiction. We can use different software to block us away from the other sources that are not essential.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. We're talking about web addiction, you guys. I hope you benefited from our discussion thus far. We have 4 young people here speaking about their experience with the internet. We've talked about warning signs, possible addiction. I know nowadays when I log into my laptop, I feel like I'm on a spaceship because I have to log into my Gmail, my Facebook, my Twitter. You feel obliged to everything that comes up, every news story. I have to post it on Facebook. I have to tweet it. I mean, is that the right mentality? I can read something without having to put it on Facebook, right? I feel this obligation whenever I'm online. Okay, this is an interesting article. I need to put it on my Facebook page, and then I need to put it on my Twitter page, and then email my friends. Yes. I mean, why do you think that is?
You know, the people, they want to share what they have, actually. You know, you don't keep the information for yourself. No, just share it with others, okay? So you just find, you know, when a lot of people do it, okay, you get like, yes, this one is sending something, and this, oh, I can't help it. Yeah,
I have to share this one.
Yes, it is really good. And another one send, yeah, the same. So you come up with a lot of good things, actually, but actually, and that's why you don't feel the time right, on reading all these.
I guess it's beneficial, a lot of the information you're receiving, but it's not focused and organized, so it's kind of wasted, right?
Yes. People like kind of they put their happiness also like kind of in the number of likes and shares and like kind of comments and all these things. People like them, their stuff, like they're successful now. You understand? I'm so famous now, popular, I have followers and all these things.
I have 27 likes.
Yeah. Oh,
for example, but I got 27 likes. Oh, why didn't so-and-so like my picture? Right? They also kind of, even like birthdays, like congratulations, hey, happy birthday, Ahmed, for example, like Malik. He didn't put in like one of my friends who was like last week. He didn't write on my Facebook like happy birthday. Because you got the notification.
Dude, I just made a surprise party for you. We just like made a surprise party for him. We brought him a cake and food and stuff and all these things. And he blamed me for not like putting happy birthday on his like Facebook board. Yeah, it became like an addiction now, unfortunately. Likes and shares and stuff. And like the how people look at me, like I'm famous and stuff. The followers I have, how many likes on my mobile profile pictures. Oh, I have like 600. I'm so famous and people love me.
Yeah, that means this person is really addicted to the internet. So which is better, to tell him congratulations or happy birthday face to face or through the internet?
What about, brother, violence as a result of these? I want to go back to these online games. What about these World of Warcraft stuff? So, I mean, do you have any experience with this stuff? Did you play them, or you had friends that played them?
No, I didn't, but I have read a lot about violence in kids because of watching violent TV or playing violent games.
Yeah.
And it has proven that this is correct. Like my young nephew, he's 4 years old, and he used to play like a very violent game. Now we deleted it from the machine.
Good.
And I tell you something. One of my, I just came from grading some papers. Some writings. The students were required to write some paragraphs. Most of them they wrote like it was like fictional paragraph. So what were they thinking about? They were thinking about playing football, and they were thinking like they were at war, and they are crushing this man, and they are destroying this and this. So yes, it really affects kids a lot. Okay,
right, yeah,
so
sure.
yes, so if I'm advising parents right now, okay, please keep your kids away from these things.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Also, another effect of it is it affects concentration. Because now most of the ADHD disease is blamed on technology because of how much it distracts the kids.
Right.
ADHD is the
attention hyperdeficit disorder.
Attention hypertension deficit disorder.
Because I have it, because I can't pronounce it. And
it is.
I have it because too like hard. I can't focus long enough to remember it.
Yes.
This is a result of these games because it's the neuroscience in this quick instant gratification, right?
Yes, because you attention to many things at the same time, and like once you are looking at this picture, there is another notification to this game and that post. So you are distracted and torn between them.
Yeah, certainly. I agree with you. I remember in college as an undergrad, my roommate, he was from the Far East, and he would stay up all night, literally all night, and you would hear from his laptop, monster kill. He was like killing monsters all day long on StarCraft. He was a nice guy, but I mean, this is, it takes you out of reality a little bit too. I think violence. I had another friend of mine who plays these games, multiplayer games. So in effect, he's online and he's playing these games with other people. He has headphones on and stuff. So like he's in the middle of the game. If you like knock on his door or call him, he can't answer you. He's in the middle of the game, And then he works up his character and he sells it on eBay for money. But it becomes a whole kind of subculture that's really obsession. That's really strange. And I think that it's important if you do insist on playing those games, you should limit your time. Because it becomes an obsession, as you mentioned. What about the screen, the effects that these LCD screens are having on our eyes? Laptops, phones, all the time, looking at these images with our eyes, obviously. I mean, how bad is that, do you think?
Yes, I believe most of the kids nowadays, they use glasses. And ever since they have difficulty sleeping, because of this, when they go to bed, they don't... they are still affected because their eyes are not, are
developed. I guess.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. It's not matched with the surrounding environment.
And they're fixed on one thing,
Yeah. So it affects you. Yeah, it affects your, the neurological system. So you have to, yes, at least. The doctors, they say you have to keep distance between, but actually nowadays the students, they are using it in their phones,
and you have to really focus because to type it in, because you're using the digital pad, so you really have to stare at the screen.
Actually, yes,
it's focusing here.
All these guys, all the cameramen I know, they're not focused on a program; they're using their phones.
So you can ask them.
But I want to. Yeah. What about online learning? Online learning is something positive.
Yes.
I told you, Bilal Mahmoud. By the grace of Allah, I was able to take some classes with Mishkat University. May Allah bless them. And I've really benefited a lot, I have to say, okay? But the thing was, and this is something that's facilitated online, so you don't have to physically be somewhere. But at the same time, it's difficult because you're sitting on the computer all the time. You're sitting in a chair. There's nothing like that face-to-face interact, right? So go ahead.
Malik, a very basic tip is to just maybe adjust the resolution of the screen. Some people keep it too high or too low.
Great point.
You can just adjust it to the extent to which you can clearly see the text or the script. You can sit in a well-ventilated place. in the right height chair.
Right.
And if you do, it's a very simple steps, but if you do it, it can be okay with you.
Yeah, right, okay. I suppose it's what we say, a double-edged sword, right? Go ahead, brother.
I have a point to say about online learning. For practical issues, it's not as good as be face-to-face with your teacher and interactive. But if it's something theoretical like politics or history or geography, online learning, of course,
It has now, it has now like forums, you understand me? Online forums you can discuss, and you can exchange knowledge and like information and like experience about this. But the point I'm trying to say is, you're losing interactive like kind of environment with you and your instructor with your colleagues. But at the same time, hey, where you came from? You came from like web addiction. There's something good, step from you. You understand? You don't say like, hi, you're losing this and this and this. Hey, wait, like web addiction. Now you're learning. Now you're going interacting with someone. Like you're saying like
positive steps.
So if you're spending time on the internet, definitely go to the YouTube and learn something from there. Yeah.
And you're not going to learn. Actually, you're not going to learn. You'll find lots of things. So you have lots of things to do. You have to communicate with to chat, and you have to
there's always a way.
Notifications, chatting all the time. Everything. So you find it not easy to.
The idea is to log out. I'm sorry.
So lots of things to distract you.
Yeah.
Like for me, the last time I chatted with someone was like over 3 or 4 years ago. Because I always like turn off my chatting, the chat things like Facebook. Seriously, regarding the messages, like kind of respond only to important messages. You understand me? Hi, hey, how are you? How are you doing? Can we get to know each other? You understand me? I don't respond to the kind of messages. So you control, like making technology your friend, not your friend like everywhere. Not your friend. Like don't make it an enemy, and like go and have real friends as you should.
But I know what you mean, brother. That's a great point, because when you log on and your chats are open and you're trying to do something, right? Then hey, how are you? You feel like you're being attacked. So turn off the chat, respond to messages on your own time, and use the media.
People, they get disappointed with me when I
don't respond to them right away.
Busy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, excellent. Of course, I suppose it's you want a perfect balance. For example, with learning, you would benefit from having an instructor physically attending his class and using online material as a sort of supplement to that. So I suppose it's a balance. Brother, do you use the internet at your work to teach, or you are in the classroom with your 30 students in front of you?
I run it like physically, but sometimes I use YouTube videos, like introducing some cultural materials to them, like any of the cultural aspects. Sometimes you have to see it. I cannot just tell them in weddings we do this, in Ramadan we do this. I can just get a short video from YouTube and show it in class.
Yes, supplementary. That's good. I like that. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you for your time. I certainly appreciate it. You guys at home, thank you for watching. I hope that you were able to get offline just for this 1 hour to watch this episode. No, I'm just joking. You guys really, I hope you benefited from this program. We certainly hope that you guys, if you're online too much, think about that and think about ways to reduce your time online if it's not beneficial. And as Brother Abdullah said, use the Facebook and Twitter and social media in a positive way that's beneficial for you in your career and your spirituality and your personal life, and stay away from these negative things like wasting time with online gaming. And of course, this advice is for us first. You guys, thank you for watching. Until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah, how perfect you are, Allah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah, how perfect you are. Your mercy is great.